Shalom, shalom. This is Prophets of Awakening. This is our Monday night class, 25th of January, 2021. We're going to do our moment of silence and in regards to the Creator and His Redeemer, the Lord of Hosts, all that they're doing to orchestrate our deliverance from these lands of our oppressors. And then we're going to do our prayer, and then read a little Psalms, go into current events. Okay. O Lord, we pray unto the Lord, our God. We make our confessions, O Lord, the great and dreadful God, keeping covenant and mercy to them that love thee, and to them that keep thy commandments. O Lord, righteousness belongeth unto thee, but unto us confusion of face, as it is this day, to the men of Judah, and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and unto all Israel that are near and that are far off, through all the countries whither thou hast driven us, because of our trespass, that we have trespassed against thee. As it is written in the laws of Moses, all this evil is come upon us in the land of our captivity, here in the Americas, Caribbeans, Great Britain, and Africa. O Lord, according to all thy righteousness, I beseech thee, that thine anger and thy fury be turned away from thy city Jerusalem, and thy people, and thy holy mountain. O Lord, hear this prayer, and cause thy face to shine upon thy sanctuary and thy people, for the Lord's sake. O Lord, open thine ears and open thine eyes and incline thine ears to hear and to behold our condition. O Lord, hear. O Lord, forgive. O Lord, hearken and do. Defer not for thine own sake. O my Lord, for thy people and your land need you desperately at this hour. Peace be on you. Okay.
Hallelujah.
We're going to go into the recent song and then do the current events. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna do Psalms 85, and it's God has removed from his anger from Israel. Lord, thou hast been favorable unto thy land. Thou hast brought back the captivity of Jacob. Thou hast forsaken the iniquity of thy people. Thou hast covered all their sin. Thou hast taken away all thy wrath. Thou hast turned thyself from the fierceness of thine anger. Turn us, O God, of our salvation, because and cause thine anger toward us to cease. Wilt thou be angry with us forever? Wilt thou draw out thine own anger to all generations? Wilt thou not revive us again, that thy peace may rejoice in thee? Show us thy mercy, O Lord, and grant us thy salvation. I will hear what God the Lord will speak, for he will speak peace unto his people and to his saints, but let them not turn again to folly. Surely his salvation is nigh them that fear him, like that glory may dwell in our land. Mercy and truth are met together. Righteousness and peace have kissed each other. Truth shall spring out of the earth, and righteousness shall look down from heaven. Yea, the Lord shall give that which is good, and our land shall yield her increase. Righteousness shall go before him, and shall set us in the way of his steps. That was Psalms 85, and it's God has removed his anger from Israel. Okay. Any comments or anything on that rung a bell for anybody?
Shalom, shalom. It's time. It's time
Okay.
that the Lord has removed his anger from Israel and he's preparing to redeem his people. Because
Okay.
it says his anger only lasts for a moment.
Okay.
And
Okay.
then
And
that
current
was
What's that? That was Psalms 85.
85. Okay.
Current events. Anybody got anything on current events?
They
Shalom.
go ahead.
Go ahead, baby.
I was just gonna say they just continue to roll out those vaccines. Here in Virginia, they were having people. They had a big mobile set up down at the fairgrounds here in where I live, and people were supposed to go down there and get their first dose of their shot. And I hope that somebody can explain what do they mean by the first dose. So you don't just take it one time.
It's two. It's a first one to get your body acclimated. Then they got a second one. Both of them supposed to work hand in hand.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just gonna say, NBC News had announced that Biden was gonna move forward with placing Harriet Tubman on the $20 bill.
Okay.
So yeah, he's gonna push for that to be done.
Okay.
Like I say, he is getting a lot done so quickly.
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have no other choice, because everything is, like I said, is the bottom is falling off from under everything. The economy is tore up. The people broke, and then just everything tore up, and you got the coronavirus wreaking havoc all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to move swiftly,
Right.
Yeah. Is this something?
Yes.
Too little, too late.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what it is. I mean, they trying to, it's all a setup anyway. But
Right.
yeah.
Smoking mirror.
Right. I don't know if you all remember, but I think Trump was saying like they was having some kind of difficulties, and it wouldn't be until like 2027 or 2028 or something like that before they would even move forward with that. But Biden said no, he's gonna go ahead on and push for that to be done.
Push for what to be done?
To put Harriet on the $20 bill.
Okay, yeah.
Because Trump had put it off.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Just him.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Right.
But it ain't gonna help no way. We out of here. So.
Right.
Right. And the other thing that I was. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I'm good.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say that, we have to wake up and stop getting excited about these little trivia things that they do that don't bring about, economic equity. You know what I'm saying? Like they do all these little trivia things, and like they had, black people, white people marching arm in arm to protest, but none of that changed the economic status. We're you know what I'm saying? We're still where we are. They are still in their position. And so them putting Harriet on the $20 bill, not unless they're going to give each of us $1 million because her picture is on there.
You
know what I'm saying?
Ain't enough pain we done suffered.
Right. And I really don't care who they put on the money, because I'm not going to be here to look at it or spend it. Hopefully I'll be long gone.
Mm-hmm. They can put my picture on there if they want to. It ain't going to help.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, I was watching that Vice show. The guy Phil, he was talking about all the things that Biden, the signing statements he had been making, he had been doing, and none of them is. He keep on giving these shout outs to the black folks for they put him in the office and how they came out in numbers and all that, but none of those executive orders ain't got nothing to do with the black folks.
Okay.
So so I was, I was watching that yesterday.
Also, I don't know if you all know it or not, but I heard that the one black guy that they arrested for beating up the cop, the security, he don't have a bail. He don't have a bail. He can't get out.
Black dude?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah, but you see, they let girlfriend out with an ankle monitor, and then the guy that put his foot up on Pelosi,
Pelosi's desk.
Pelosi's desk, he's out. So it's business as usual.
Right, exactly.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, that's to be expected.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
He want to be a ride or die. Now his behind probably gonna be there for a while.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, because he's not gonna get the same treatment they got.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna do my little wake up thing on Africa. I'll try to keep everybody informed with that. I'm gonna play this right here.
Top 10 mega construction projects that will be a game changer in Africa. Hello Discoverers, welcome back to another exciting edition and thanks for watching. In this video, we shall be taking you around the beautiful continent of Africa and we shall be shining the light on the top 10 mega projects currently going on in Africa. From the construction of new cities, refineries and dams, Africa is more than ever before witnessing the executions of some of its biggest projects. These projects are some of the most expensive the continent has ever known and upon completion will change the face of Africa in several ways. For so many years, Africa was far behind when it came to infrastructural development, but the continent is gradually catching up with the rest of the world. From beautiful stadiums and exotic bridges, the continent is rising up to the challenge. If you are new here, welcome. Be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our videos. There are several massive projects currently ongoing in Africa, but these are the ones that really stand out. So in no particular order, these are the top 10 ongoing mega projects in Africa. Number 1. Egypt's new capital city, Egypt. In a couple of years, Egypt will be joining 30 other countries who in recent years have relocated their capital city to new cities, including countries like Brazil, Australia, and Nigeria. Egypt is currently busy with the construction of a brand new city from scratch, which will serve as the country's administrative hub. The new capital city, which will cost about $58 billion, will cover over 700 square kilometers or 270 square miles, making it about the size of Singapore, and will be located 35 kilometers east of Cairo. Egypt is building the new capital to create many of.
If you work in a team, you've got to try Monday.com. Go to Monday.
Opportunities for housing and employment, putting in mind that Egypt's population will almost double in the next 40 years. The goal is also to eliminate the crowdedness that is one of the biggest problems now in Cairo because of the increasing population. The city is planned to consist of 21 residential districts and 25 dedicated districts. Its downtown is to have skyscrapers and a tall monument set to resemble the Eiffel Tower and Washington monuments. The city will also have a park double the size of New York City's Central Park, artificial lakes, about 2,000 educational institutions, a technology and innovation park, 663 hospitals and clinics, 1,250 mosques and churches, 40,000 hotel rooms, a major theme park 4 times the size of Disneyland, 90 square kilometers of solar energy farms, an electric railway link with Cairo, and a new international airport at the site of the Egyptian Air Force's existing Wadi al-Jandali Airport. It will be built as a smart city. It is planned that the transfer of parliament, presidential palaces, government ministries and foreign embassies will be completed between 2020 and 2022 at a cost of over $45 billion. A full cost of the city is estimated at $58 billion, and upon completion will be hands down the most beautiful city in Africa. China State Construction Engineering Corporation are contractors Wadi El Nav for contracting and real estate investments, Egyptian Spanish Alliance CSCEC company, which is ranked as the best company among 250 global contracting companies, are the companies currently in charge of that construction. The completion date for the project has not been disclosed. We wish Egypt all the best for the giant step. Number 2, the Grand Inga Dam, DR Congo. The Inga Dam are 2 hydroelectric dams connected to one of the largest waterfalls in the world, Inga Falls. They are located in the Western Democratic Republic of the Congo and 140 miles southwest of Kinshasa. There are currently 2 Inga dams, Inga 1 and Inga 2, where the construction of a third Inga Dam 3 is under construction. The dam is designed to have an average output of 39,000 megawatts annually, nearly twice as much as the Three Gorges Dam in China, making it the world's largest hydropower scheme. Grand Inga Dam is expected to cost an estimated $100 billion, including the cost of transmission lines needed to carry its power across the continent. The project was expected to begin by December 2016. However, in July of that year, the World Bank withdrew its funding following disagreements over the project. The first phase grant would have totaled $73.1 million. Some observers are skeptical of the project, citing its high cost in a country known for its endemic corruption, risking little benefits to the population. In 2017, proposals were for a 10 to 12 GW dam, up from 4.8 GW in earlier plans, with potential completion sometime after 2024. While construction plans for Phase 3 were reported to be on track in late 2019, a major potential member of the construction consortium, Spanish firms ACS Group, dropped out in January 2020, leaving uncertainty with remaining Chinese and German partners. The successful execution of this project will be a game changer not only in Congo but Africa. Number 3, Dangote Oil Refinery, Nigeria. The Dangote Refinery is a 650,000 barrels per day integrated refinery and petrochemical project under construction in the Lekki Free Zone near Lagos. It is expected to be Africa's biggest oil refinery and the world's biggest single-train facility upon completion in 2020. Dangote's Oil Refinery, a company owned by the Nigeria-based Dangote Group, is developing the project with an estimated investment of $12 billion. The Dangote Refinery will process a variety of light and medium grades of crude to produce Euro V quality clean fuels, including gasoline and diesel, as well as jet fuel and polypropylene. Estimated to hold 37 billion barrels of proven oil reserves, Nigeria is the second biggest oil-rich country in Africa after Libya. The West African country is, however, dependent on imported refined fuel products due to lack of domestic refining capacities. The Dangote Refinery will increase Nigeria's refining capacity twofold and help meet the increasing domestic fuel demand, while generating foreign exchange through exports. The processing facilities for the Dangote Refinery include a crude distillation unit and associated facilities, a mild hydrocracking unit, a residual fluid catalytic cracking unit, a naphtha hydrotreater, and a gasoline hydrosulfurization unit, as well as alkylation units. The refinery complex will also house sulfur recovery and hydrogen generation facilities and the polypropylene unit. The hydrogen generation facility will generate 200,000 normal cubic meters per hour of hydrogen and steam to produce sulfur-free fuels. A group of local and international banks led by Standard Chartered Bank provide a $3.3 billion syndicated loan facility for the project. The United States Trade and Development Agencies provide in 251.3 billion naira training grants for the human resource development for the refinery operation. The integrated refinery and petrochemical project is expected to generate 9,500 direct and 25,000 indirect jobs. The project was meant to be completed by 2020, but with the current pandemic plaguing the world, we doubt that will be possible. Number 4, Konza Technology City, Kenya. Kenya has embarked on construction of a $14.5 billion technology city in Machakos County in a bid to attract technology talents and investors.
Yeah, you notice all this building, all these, I mean, they're doing a serious makeover, remake of Africa, you know, and you got to look at that because can't be for the local population.
Right.
They expecting a major group of people. They expecting a lot of foreigners to come in there, and on top of that, they're expecting them to have a lot of money.
To drive its economic growth, Konza City, which is located 64 kilometers south of the capital Nairobi, is modeled around the US Silicon Valley, hence the moniker African Silicon Savannah. The smart city targets business process outsourcing, software development, data centers, disaster recovery centers, call centers, light manufacturing industries, and research institutions. Konza has so far attracted several wealthy investors, including a leading Korean university, although the slow pace of the project is raising concerns among its key stakeholders. The project, which was born in 2012, only started in August 2018. The project is divided into various stages. The first stage, which is ongoing, will cost 39 billion Kenyan shillings. The entire project will include the design of roads, parks, and ICT connectivity. Is expected to be completed by 2021. Number 5, Mambila Hydroelectric Power Station, Nigeria. Nigeria is undertaking construction of a mega hydropower dam as it seeks to boost its energy production. Dubbed Mambila Hydroelectric Power Project, the facility, which has been planned for more than 3 decades, is one of the biggest construction projects in Africa. The Mambila Hydroelectric Power Project, which is being undertaken by China's Sinohydro Corp at a cost of $5.8 billion, will be connected to 3 dams across the Donga River in Taraba State, Nigeria. The Exim Bank of China has agreed to lend 85%, that's $4.93 billion towards the construction. The funds will be paid directly to the construction consortium in tranches as the work progresses. The federal government of Nigeria has committed to contribute 15%, $870 million of the construction cost. The facility will have a total installed capacity of 3,050 milliwatts of electricity. Though there has been a lot of controversy surrounding the execution of the project is set to be completed by 2030. Construction of this power station is expected to generate 50,000 temporary and permanent jobs. The power generated will be sold to Transmission Company of Nigeria, which will transmit it to 2 locations, where it will be integrated into the Nigerian electricity grid. One 330 kilovolts high voltage transmission line will connect to Jalingo, and 4 500 kilovolts high voltage transmission lines will connect to Makurdi. Number 6, Grand Ethiopian Dam, Ethiopia. The Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, formerly known as the Millennium Dam, is a gravity dam under construction on the Blue Nile River in Benishwagi Gumus in Ethiopia. Work on the 6,000 milliwatts dam began in 2011 and is now 70% complete, way behind the July 2017 completion date. The Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam will be the largest hydroelectric power plant in Africa and the 7th largest in the world once it gets completed. It is estimated that the reservoir will take 5 to 15 years to fill with water, depending on hydrologic conditions during the filling period and agreements reached between Ethiopia, Sudan, and Egypt. The Ethiopian government has stated that it intends to fund the entire cost of the dam by itself in order to prevent relying on foreign countries who may be brought under pressure by Egypt to withdraw their support. Ethiopia has issued a bond targeted at Ethiopians in the country and abroad to that end. The turbines and associated electrical equipment of the hydropower plants, costing about $1.8 billion, are reportedly financed by Chinese banks. This will leave $3 billion to be financed by the Ethiopian government through other means. The estimated $4.8 billion construction cost, apparently excluding the cost of power transmission lines, corresponds to about 5% of Ethiopia's gross domestic product, $87 billion in 2017. The facility is, however, facing criticisms for rights groups who argued that it has displaced nearly 20,000 people. Number 7, the Bagamoyo Port, Tanzania. The Bagamoyo Port is being constructed in Bagamoyo, Tanzania. Contracts to begin port construction were signed in October 2015 and was set to complete phase 1 of the construction project in 2017. The project was cancelled, however, by a new government 3 months later in January 2016. In 2011, the project got the go-ahead and work started in about June to July. It will be built in association with the state-owned China Merchants Port. It will also include the Special Economic Zone. The $10 billion project is backed by an Omani sovereign wealth fund. It is planned to be one of the largest government infrastructure projects in the country. The Bagamoyo Port and its affiliate industrial zone is meant to address congestion at the old port and support Tanzania to become East Africa's leading shipping and logistics center. The port is set to handle 20 million TEU by 2045 and will be the largest port in East Africa when completed. The project is a three-government venture between Tanzania, China, and Oman. The port is to handle 25 times the amount of cargo of Dar es Salaam port and will help reduce the congestion at the port. Number 8, Kenya Standard Gauge Railway, Kenya. The Kenya Standard Gauge Railway is a railway system that will connect Kenya's cities and link the country to the neighboring countries of Uganda, and through Uganda to South Sudan, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Rwanda, and Burundi. There are also plans to link to Addis Ababa in neighboring Ethiopia to the north. Other segments are under construction. SGR It is intended to replace the old, inefficient Meta gauge railway system. The first phase of the project, which spans 472 kilometers from Mombasa to Nairobi, has been completed at the cost of $3.27 billion, while phase 2A from Nairobi to Naivasha, 120 kilometers, is currently under construction at the cost of $1.5 billion. On the other hand, phase 2B of the new railway from Naivasha to Kisumu, 270 kilometers, is set to cost $3.8 billion, while phase 2C, a 107 kilometers extension from Kisumu to Malaba, will consume $1.31 billion. Number 9, Kakulo Kabasa Hydroelectric Plant, Angola. Angola is currently constructing the Kakulo Kabasa Hydroelectric Plant in Dondo. The plant, which is 103 meters high, will be the largest hydroelectric complex in the country, with a capacity to produce 2,172 megawatts of power, after Lausa with 2,070 megawatts, and is the fourth such project built along the Middle Kwanza after the Kabanda and Lausa and Kambambe dams. The $4.5 billion facility is being built by the China Ging Super Group Co. Limited and continuous investments by Chinese financiers and businesses into the African country's economy. China is Angola's largest trading partner, while Angolan infrastructure projects have benefited from nearly $50 billion in total Chinese investments, according to the Chinese embassy. Work on Kakulo Kabasa started in 2017 and is scheduled to take 80 months, during which China Genzuba expects to hire as many as 10,000 workers. CGGC will also be responsible for operating and maintaining the plant for a 4-year period after its completion, as well as providing training for Angolan technical personnel. Number 10, Pointe Noire Special Economic Zone, Republic of Congo. The Pointe Noire Special Economic Zone project in the Republic of Congo is a development project that will cover nearly 9,000 acres near a strategically important port that also serves as a hub for the oil industry. It will bring vital infrastructure and manufacturing to this key area that serves as the backbone of the country's economy. Once completed, the Pointe Noire Special Economic Zone is expected to stimulate economic activities in the Republic of Congo, while also creating more than 100,000 jobs for country citizens. The project is expected to generate $1.1 billion by 2022, $2.1 billion by 2026, and $3.5 billion by 2031. There you have it, Disparis. Those were 10 major construction projects currently going on in Africa. We know there are several ongoing amazing projects that have not been mentioned in this video, so feel free to mention some of them in the comments. Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed the video,
okay. Anybody got any comments on what they heard?
They are preparing. They're getting ready. A lot of construction, and yeah.
They connecting all the dots. Is what I'm saying.
You see it happening. Yeah.
You see how fast they doing it though. You see how they had they putting down those tracks.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't do them like we doing. They had like almost like a half a mile worth of tracks. They sit down with all in one piece under this thing and sit it down, then they stamp it and put the next one back in there. Yeah, it don't take them long. The Chinese guys did you know, how to build a city. They got that down pat.
Right. Right.
That's how they built all those ghost cities.
Right. So you got to know, I think it's going to be happening soon where we're going to be getting up out of here.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I was wanting to talk about this. I wanted the topic I was talking about today is I was just wanting to shine a light on it because of, you know, a lot of people don't really know where we at and what's really going on as far as the AI and the 5G and how, you know, why that's playing a big part in a lot of stuff that's going on. So I'm gonna play this little video right here on 5G, and then we talk about it, and then we tie it to the AI.
Of Real Engineering is brought to you by Brilliant, a problem-solving website that teaches you to think like an engineer. Okay, I didn't think I would need to make this video, but people are burning down valuable infrastructure out of fear for their health. I'm sure you have heard all the insane theories. 5G towers are weakening the immune system and causing the global pandemic. 5G is causing cancer. 5G is mind controlled by the lizard people. I don't think I will succeed in convincing many of the lunatics that believe these things, so I'm not going to try. But let's explore what 5G actually is, how it works, and some of its real problems. Today, we're going to learn some interesting things about data transmission science and learn how our ability to transfer data through the air has evolved over the past 4 decades. Hopefully, we can pull a few of the people on the fence over to the side where rational people live in the process. We have been using different wavelengths of electromagnetic radiation to transmit information for hundreds of years. In ancient Greece, they used signal fires to convey messages with visible light. Today, we send messages with light through fiber optic cables. These cables are capable of carrying insane quantities of information and are the bedrock of the internet. But we can't connect all devices to it, because many devices need to be wireless. To make wireless data transmission possible, cellular networks needed to be developed, and it all started here in Japan in 1979, with the first generation cellular network, which we now call 1G. It began in Tokyo, where high-power radio towers would communicate directly with phones installed in cars. These towers used radio waves with frequencies sitting around here on the electromagnetic spectrum and simply transferred the data in analog. Let's see how analog data can be transmitted using a carrier frequency. Say we want to send a sound wave, a simple sine wave of 100 Hz. We want to apply it to an 850 MHz wave, a wave with significantly higher frequency. We can do this with amplitude modulation or frequency modulation, AM and FM. You have definitely heard of these terms before with radio stations. AM applies the data to the amplitude of the carrier frequency, so it will vary the amplitude of the carrier frequency, like so, basically tracing the original wave with its peaks and troughs. FM applies the data to the frequency of the carrier wave, like so, varying the distance between peaks to trace the original wave. To transfer a call using this method, you need a dedicated frequency band, defined by the lowest and highest frequencies used. If another user is using that frequency band on the same tower, then you need to use a different frequency band. The more frequency bands you have, the more calls the tower can handle. This is bandwidth. As the number of users grew, the system's capabilities were continually being stretched. Adding more frequencies to grow bandwidth is an option, but adding frequencies comes with its difficulties. Frequencies need to be licensed, and there is a lot of competition. Weather radar, military communication and security systems, GPS, television broadcasts, radio stations, radio astronomy, aviation systems, and air traffic control. They all need their own frequency bands. In order to gain new frequency bands, companies often had to go to auction and purchase the license with huge capital investment. This was done with every new generation of cell network, but a lot was done to cram more data onto a single frequency band through the years. Increasing the number of users that can use the same frequency band can be as simple as increasing the number of towers. Instead of using a single high-power tower to cover an entire city, multiple lower-power towers could be used. Frequency bands could then be assigned to individual customers within each tower's range without interfering with the same band in neighboring cells. This increased the number of users networks could support, but it did not increase the data transfer rates. At its best, 1G was capable of 2.4 kilobits per second, but describing it in bits is a bit counterintuitive because, as we said, it worked in analog. Bits were the units of digital data. 2G ushered in a new era of mobile phones with the introduction of a fully digital system. Instead of encoding an analog signal into a frequency band, we encoded binary data. If you are like me, this was your first experience with cellular networks. My first phone was this beast, the legendary Nokia 3310. Sure, it could make calls, but digital data allowed for a new form of communication. This was the era a new language was born, TextSpeak, a language of gibberish invented to keep within the 160-character limit and prevent your mobile network provider from charging you for 2 texts. In English, each character in that 160-character text was encoded with 7 bits. Therefore, a 160-character text contained 1,000 120 bits. When 2G was first introduced, it could achieve 9.6 kilobits per second. It could handle that 1120-bit text message with ease, but the 2G era lasted right up to the launch of the first iPhone, and speeds had increased to 200 kilobits per second thanks to improved internet protocols like General Packet Radio Switching, or GPRS, sometimes referred to as 2.5G. By the time the iPhone 2 launched, 3G was the new hot topic. 3G introduced additional frequency bands. It's estimated that in Europe alone, companies paid over $100 billion in auctions to gain new frequencies. But 3G also made the change to a system that fully utilized the method of data packet switching, which GPRS utilized. Packet switching allowed thousands of customers to share many different frequencies far more efficiently. Here, data was split into smaller data packets. Each data packet contains a header, which contains the address of the destination and information on how to reassemble the data packets. Splitting the data into smaller bite-sized chunks allowed us to make better use of the frequency bands available. Instead of trying to find a large gap of availability on a single frequency band, we could split the data into small chunks and send it across many different frequency bands the moment a small availability appeared, like changing from sending a huge truck of data on a single road to sending thousands of motorcycle messengers over roads with the least traffic. This made our use of the frequency band's capacity more efficient and allowed us to carry more data. As time went on, these protocols improved, allowing even more efficient use of the bandwidth. In 2005, High-Speed Packet Access, or HSPA, which you have likely seen represented on your phone as a H+, was introduced, which increased speeds up to 42 megabits per second. This was labeled 3.5G. 4G introduced a new technology called long-term evolution, or LTE. It introduced even more frequency bands like the 700 MHz band that was previously used for analog TV broadcasts. It also introduced a new way of squeezing more data through the existing frequency bands with orthogonal frequency division multiplexing, or OFDM. OFDM allowed us to send far more data. You are probably familiar with the idea of constructive and destructive interference, where two waves meeting can combine and either enhance or cancel out the amplitude of each other. To prevent this, signals traditionally had to be separated out over time to prevent interference. But OFDM allowed the signals to be squeezed together and overlap, allowing the same amount of data to be sent over a shorter period of time. When the signals arrived, they were separated out and converted to binary data once again. How? I don't know. Magic or math or something. Honestly, the fact we can stream HD movies on our phone without a wired connection should seem like magic to the average person. It has gotten so advanced that we are now struggling to increase speeds without adding new frequencies, but there aren't a whole lot available. So, network providers are now reaching into the bargain bin and taking out frequencies nobody wants to use: high-frequency millimeter waves. Higher frequency waves have normally been shunned for these types of applications. Higher frequency waves just aren't as good at traveling. They get blocked by practically everything, including rain. Think of them like visible light. Unless you have a direct line of sight with a torch, you can't see it. To deal with this, network providers need to install huge numbers of transmitters. Studies have estimated that to bring 100 megabit per second download speeds to 72% population coverage and 1 gigabit per second speeds to 55% of the US population, about 13 million utility pole mounted 28 gigahertz base stations would be needed at a cost of $400 billion. Having this many base stations will help relieve congestion over a single frequency band, but 5G will also be using something called massive MIMO, or massive multiple input, multiple output. These are basically just groups of antennae that are listening and broadcasting to the same frequency bands. This would cause interference, but 5G is also looking to use beamforming, which will allow the antenna to aim at your phone instead of broadcasting the signal in all directions. This, coupled with the fact that higher frequency waves can carry more data, means 5G is reaching speeds of up to 1,800 megabits per second in the US. Higher frequencies can carry more information because we are encoding our information into the wave cycles. Our measure of frequency is hertz, but all 1 hertz really means is that 1 wave cycle is reaching us per second. 10 hertz means 10 wave cycles are reaching us per second, and 190 megahertz means 190 million wave cycles are reaching us per second. Because we are encoding our information into the wave cycles, that means we can encode more information into higher frequency waves. Up until now, we've been using frequencies between 700 megahertz and 2500 megahertz. So 700 million wave cycles per second to 2500 million wave cycles per second. 5G will allow higher download speeds and lower latency. This will be huge for time-critical technologies like self-driving cars that require rapid communication between vehicles in the network and allow even more devices to join the network to create the Internet of Things. 5G has a lot of potential, and no, it's not dangerous. The electromagnetic spectrum starts on the far left with gamma radiation, which has very high frequency and short wavelengths. Higher frequencies and shorter wavelengths equates to higher energy, and indeed, gamma radiation does cause cancer. Anything over here you need to worry about. But 5G is operating all the way over here towards the lower energy frequencies. Yes, past visible light, which last time I checked, no one is afraid of. Yes, like visible light and microwaves, it's possible to cause heating with high enough powered beams of these wavelengths. This is the only non-crackpot theory I can find on 5G that actually sits in the realm of plausibility. The military even used high-powered 95 gigahertz beams in their active denial system, which just made the people on the receiving end feel like someone just opened an oven door in front of their face, and it could burn people if exposed for long enough. It's uncomfortable and was intended to disperse crowds. This was essentially a focus beam of 95 gigahertz light, akin to a massive magnifying glass focusing light to burn a piece of paper. Because yes, just as visible light can be used to cause heating, so can these wavelengths when used in high enough power and intensity. As we said earlier, these frequencies are blocked by rain, and so they certainly can't penetrate your skin, and these transmitters simply don't have the power to cause heating that would be damaging. They are simply too low power, and there are plenty of studies that show that they are not harmful. If you are afraid of 5G in this way, you might as well be afraid of streetlights because they emit higher energy frequencies. Every day.
Okay. So, anybody believe that the 5G is not harmful?
You said not?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, no. Mm-mm.
You believe it's harmful? You believe it's not harmful?
I believe it is harmful.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
Yeah. This the glue right here. The 5G is the glue that's connecting everything together when they start talking about the smart cities. Smart cities, this what they, all the activity you see going on, and not only in Africa but all over. Everybody trying to get a smart city, and this 5G is the glue that's putting it all together. They're going to connect you, your brain, car, and everything else to the 5G, to the your appliances and everything connected to this 5G.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And when you look at it, I think it's tied to the virus. Me.
Mm.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah. So let me see what I'm doing.
Because you remember said that the people, when they turned that 5G on in Wuhan, that's when the people started. Yeah.
Right. The same time that that started was when they started the 5G. When they cracked up the 5G is when this stuff started. When COVID started. Anybody got any comments? Okay, so I got this other. I'm gonna play a little bit of it. It's artificial intelligence. and how how you tie all this together, and like I said, all this stuff is being used over there with all these smart cities and stuff that they're building over in Africa, all the construction. We just looked at what's going on.
Artificial intelligence is a bit like a human who is inside something else. It's not as smart as you, but it could be as smart as you in the future.
So you see what she's saying is it's like spirits. Evil spirits is inside of you, but it's an intelligence, but it's inside of you, and it's different. It's other than you, but it's inside of you, but it's an intelligence. That's how a wicked spirit is. It's posted up inside, but it ain't of you.
Future. I believe that we'll become robots at some point too.
Artificial intelligence is changing our lives. But what can it really do? What will change? And what will remain science fiction? To answer these questions, we embarked on a journey to meet the scientists working on our future. Augsburg in southern Germany, home to the headquarters of KUKA, the world's leading manufacturer of industrial robots. Rainer Bischoff is head of research here and is considered to be one of the world's leading experts in this field. He and his team are working on a new generation of robots that learn independently, like children. The task, to recognize and sort building blocks.
This robotic system taught itself how to grab. In other words, there was no human program.
Humans use all of our senses and can do more than smart robots. But the robots are beginning to learn. Artificial intelligence also plays an important role in a story that began in January 1982 in Mount Washington, New Hampshire. Hugh Hare was 17 years old at the time. Together with his friend Jeff Betzer, Hugh went up a mountain. But they were caught off guard by a change in the weather. A blizzard raged for 3 whole days. The missing boys were only found after 4 days. Both were alive, but they had severe frostbite. The doctors decided to amputate Hugh's legs just below the knee. 32 years later, Hugh Hare has AI legs, which he developed himself. He spoke on turning disability into opportunity at the TED conference in 2014. Dancer Adrian Haslett-Davis lost a leg in 2013 in the terrorist attack at the Boston Marathon. Thanks. It's that easy. Prosthesis by Hugh Hare, she can dance again.
Sometimes you don't, sometimes you need it, then you don't you let go. Sometimes we rush, sometimes we fall. It doesn't matter, baby, we can take it real slow.
Boston, home to the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. We met with Hugh Hare to talk about artificial intelligence and the human body. He's the pioneer in the field of intelligent prosthetics, a single person who is both developer and user. There are dozens of prototypes in his lab.
So this is, you have a motor, you have...
Here's a motor, and this is a synthetic subtalar joint for inversion, eversion. So we've iterated and spent millions of dollars to arrive at this optimal architecture.
Hugh began developing prostheses after his lower limbs had been amputated. His replacement legs became increasingly complex. Now they are AI limbs with countless sensors, motors, and computers.
I quickly realized that I had an opportunity, that from my knees down, there was a blank slate, and I could create anything in that space that I could conceive and imagine. And so I started, as a young man, I started to imagine what that blank space may look like, what may fill that space.
Disability depends on perspective. Hugh Hare has developed a novel answer. With the special prostheses that he's developed himself, he can once again pursue his greatest passion, climbing.
So there is a computer in here?
There's three, actually.
Three?
And they're each the size of your thumbnail. So very small microprocessors. And there's a muscle tendon-like motor system. So the computer runs algorithms. Receives sensory information. So the device is measuring its position, speed, accelerations, temperatures, and whatnot. All that information goes into the computer. The computer runs algorithms and then decides on the actions of the muscle tendon-like motor system. This all happens very fast. So as I'm walking, going up and down hills and steps, it's constantly responding to my biomechanical needs.
It is so good that even nowadays you do mountain climbing, or you still go.
It's the pedal right here, and it's the reference system. It's for sensing the bullet. When you strike it, you can see flashes.
Yeah.
That means you hit and it decrease the health. If the one robot lose all the points, it will shut down.
This may look like a game, but it's actually a program to support young engineers. It was launched by DJI, and now several other companies are also involved. The next generation of engineers needs to be good at designing and programming, and that's exactly what they're learning here in a playful context.
The background is serious engineering or more game?
It's serious engineering because you need to build a new robot. You not only put them together, it's just the first step. And then you need to do some coding, do some artificial recognitions. This is it's quite a massive work, and it's not that simple for college students.
How many universities are?
There's 32 universities in the bio tournament, but for this year we have 107.
Okay.
Because they saw how much information these devices have.
Curiosity, creativity, imagination. Children are open-minded and enjoy trying things out. Some devices react as if they were artificial living beings.
After they learn how to program it and train it, both the young children and the old children became more skeptical and trusted the device less. So they understood it knows how to answer this type of questions, but it doesn't know how to answer this type of questions.
Do you trust machines? Are they smart? What can you do that they can't? Stefania calls for increased understanding of artificial intelligence.
The goal of my research is to bring this AI literacy both to kids and parents, because these are in the home and parents are there also part of the conversation, asking questions. And I think it's important for families to understand how AI works in order to make a good use of this technology.
Some things promote our own creativity. Other things seem to be superfluous. And there's another important difference between humans and machines.
A friend can sleep over at your house and tell you stories. She talks to you. If you play with a robot, it can only do certain things. Cosmo can only play with dice. Alexa can only answer questions or sing a song. And that ball can only roll. Julia can do all those things. You just have to get a lot of single things from one robot, or get other robots. First this one, then that other, then the next. And with a person, you don't have to get a new one. You always have them there and they can do everything.
Yeah. So my reason for dealing with this right here was the fact that, you know, I was the other day, I was sitting there, I had you know, based on the information I've been on stuff I've been dealing with and just looking at stuff, I see how you know, from way back, from kids like these kids right here they were just dealing with, we've been programmed to deal with stuff that's, you know, is really harmful to us. You know what I'm saying? And then it also goes back to the fact that it's a different type of two different manner of people. These people have, you know, they have a you know, we have a connection with our Creator. You know, and if you've been paying attention, you notice they don't have no connection with no, you know, because of this, you know, the stuff they do, and so, you know, they're dealing with all this AI technology and 5G technology because of they lacking in so many ways. Like I said, they lacking when you understand what the melanin is that was given to us as a gift. They lacking that, you know. And like I was saying before, you know, you got to think about when you microwave something. You know, that's got to be harmful. But we just, you know, we don't look at it. You know, we don't look at it because we've been programmed. We just, they bring out something new, we just jump on it and deal with it. And then like looking at the 5G, it's showing you how. I don't know if anybody know what a VMAX machine is, but they have these VMAX machines in the military where they can. It sends out a microwave beam, and they use it in the military to break up crowds, and they use it in combat. But then now they started issuing it to police departments. You know, it's a big old thing that like a satellite dish sitting on top of like a Humvee, and they can just crank that up and shine it at a crowd, and then the people start cooking when it's like in the microwave from the inside out. They gotta get out from where get out of the way of the beam, or they'll burn up. So like I was saying before, you gotta understand that stuff is. I mean, you know, it's got to be harmful, just like you know, the cell phone, and you know the you know, you constantly putting it up to your ear and all that stuff, even a laptop, you know, the screen. You constantly be in front of the laptop, you know, looking at the screen, that's harmful too. But you know, like I say, we just whatever they come up with, we just go along with it and deal with it, but not looking at it, and, you know, just looking at it from you know, with common sense. See, you got to understand, there's got to be some, you know, got to be some long-term effects to it, you know. Yeah. So, anybody got any comments or something they want to say about what they just saw or heard? Shalom.
Shalom.
Okay. Anybody got any comments or anything about what they just heard? Any comments on 5G or the AI, or you know, what they think about it? Okay. So in that situation, I'm gonna open it up for anybody got any questions or comments about anything that he came across over the last couple of days or so. Anybody got any a question or comment about anything that they didn't read or will see it across the class, or they don't understand? They want to bring it up. We can talk about it right now.
I do have a question. I'm sorry. I have a question. With us getting ready to go back into the land and everything, and we see all the changes and things that are coming over in Africa. My question is, with America falling and some of the other nations that will also fall, I think about once we get settled in the land, do you think traveling to other parts of the countries or world would be a thing of the past, or is it something we can still look forward to in our future?
Well, I think it's going to be open travel. Yeah. All when you look at what they're doing and what they're planning is that this coronavirus is to reconfigure the population and to scatter the people and put them where they want them at. And then once they accomplish that, it'll miraculously go away. Like I said, they're already given the predictions on every format and every platform you look at, even on TEDx and everywhere else. They're talking about where people are going to be at in the next 10 years or so, the population. And they got everybody square dab in the middle of Africa. They say 85 to 90% of the world population going to be in Africa and in the Middle East, in that area. So it's got to be something that's going to happen to run the people out of their countries for them to end up over in Africa. Some dramatic got to happen. And when you understand how they operate, is all this stuff already been planned. Yeah. Okay. Anybody else got anything?
So there's no Trinity, right? There's no Trinity. It's only God's Spirit. Because I was wondering about the Trinity.
Nah, the Trinity comes from that's a pagan concept. It's got, when you go back to I don't know if you're familiar with the 16 crucified saviors. You familiar with that?
Somewhat, yeah.
Yeah, well, back in the day, you had the Bible shows you where he formed Adam and Adam's descendants. But Adam's descendants always was dealing with the Creator and the angels, but he sent Cain away from him, and Ham was away from him. So these people grew up apart from the kingdom that's in heaven. So they came up with all these because they wasn't interacting with these angels and interacting with the understanding of the Creator. They came over, they see the sun and they start worshiping the sun like the Egyptians. And then they see a woman carrying a baby. They think the woman is God because she carrying a baby and giving forth to a baby, but not understanding how that works because of they was apart from these angels and from the Most High and their understanding. So like I was saying before, they came up with this concept where you got the king, the queen, and the son. And then the son was always, the kid was always immaculately conceived. That's where the Trinity come from. In Egypt, you had Cyrus, Osiris, Isis, and Horus. Then you had in Babylon, you had Thomas was his son. He was immaculately conceived. Semiramis, and then you had Nimrod. Then you had the Trinity over with the Greeks. You had Trinity with the in India. You had Vishnu. Can't think of the guy. I can't think of his name, but it was Trinity. You had the Trinities. All these gods had a Trinity with them. So when they came to the Council of Nicaea and they got the whole entire records, and they concocted the New Testament off of the Old Testament, and so they had to come up with a Trinity. So they had the Creator, Jesus is the Son, and then the Holy Ghost, which is the woman. So that's how they get, that's how you got people now thinking that it's a woman that's up in heaven. So that Trinity concept is pagan. It's got pagan origins. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. That's all I have.
Okay. Anybody else got anything?
I had a question from one of the people I told the truth to. They wanted to know whether Yahweh, the Most High, or our Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel, created the heavens. Like as far as like the heaven of heavens, where the temple of the Most High and like where all the cherubim and seraphim are, like kind of like that realm, or was it just the physical earth realm?
Well, Yahweh, created all that, and then when you go to Genesis chapter 2, then he rested. He rested from all that he had done, and then you see in Genesis chapter 2, I think it's verse 4. Then you see where the Lord God takes over from the heaven to the earth. When you say heaven, it's a singular, so that's just what we can look up and see. We see the heavens, we see the stars and the moon and all that from that point down is the earth. And the earth is when the Lord of hosts started doing what he was going to do. He started creating and forming on the earth. Like I said, he created a man in Genesis 1:26. He created a man with a woman, and then he formed the man. Well, that's what the Most High did in heaven. He formed those 7 angels, and then all the rest of those angels, he created them. He spoke them into existence. The different classes of angels and the myriads of angels were created. But those 7, he formed them from himself. So that's what people getting, we got people getting confused about that, because he says, I was listening to the brother the other day, was saying how that Yah means created, means he would create. Well, that's what Michael means too. It means the same thing. So you have Yahweh, and then you got Yahweh of hosts. And so he created the first angel that he created, first angel that he formed, it was Michael. And he had the same abilities, similar to the Yah, but he's not, his power and his might is not it's not to be compared to Yahweh. And then so anytime you say spirit, like I say, so many people get that all confused when they say Holy Spirit. Well, that's an angel, it's a being. It ain't just, when you say Holy Spirit, it ain't just some energy, just like a fog just floating around in heaven. A spirit is an angel. And so we know from Exodus chapter 3, it said the angel of the Lord lit on the bush, and then Yahweh, the Creator, spoke through him to Moses. And so this angel that was the one that was there, Yahweh wasn't there. He was speaking from his throne through his angel to Moses. So he told him, Moses, take your shoes off. Moses had to take his shoes off because the angel was there. The angel is holy. Those other 7 angels, the other 6 angels, they holy. It's the 7 holy angels. So they spirits. So they're not, you can't separate the two. They beings. And we know they all males. So like I said, they incorporated a pagan concept, the Trinity, into our, you know what I'm saying? They incorporated into our thinking and our culture. They imposed it on us.
Right. So in Psalms 68 verse 4, and it says, sing unto God, sing praises to his name, extol him that rideth upon the heavens by his name, Yah, and rejoice before him. That's talking about the Holy One of Israel.
Now, so let's look at this. Go to and this is the thing about, like I'm saying before, you have to, it's I say it for people to think. So you go to Ezekiel chapter 1.
Oh, I mean, I know the difference. I know the difference. I was just asking for a
No,
comment.
I mean this for other people that might be listening too.
Oh,
But,
okay. All right, cool.
So you go to Ezekiel. Go to Ezekiel chapter 1, and it says, 26 says, and above, and above the firmament that was over their heads was the likeness of a throne, and as the appearance of a throne, the appearance of a sapphire stone, and upon the likeness of the throne was the likeness of a appearance of a man upon and above it. So it says in verse 25, there was a voice from the firmament that was over their heads, and when they stood and had let down their wings. So these four beasts, angels, is carrying this throne. So you just read where it says Yah, which is Yahweh, is riding upon the cloud. So we see this how he traveled right here. So it's he's in a thick cloud. Look at Ezekiel 1 and 4. It says, and I looked, and behold, a whirlwind. See that? Came out of the north, a great cloud. So what's in the cloud? Well, he just described it to you over here in 24, 25, 26. These four angels, and they carrying the sapphire stone, and he on top of it. But it's inside this cloud. And that's what you just read. I want to give you another example. Of that. It's in 2 Samuel. So anytime you start talking about riding on the cloud, that's Yah. Let me get it. Yeah, 2 Samuel says, this 2 Samuel 22. This is when David, the Lord of hosts showed David what was going to happen to him after he died. So it says, I'm starting at verse 3. 2 Samuel 22 and 3 says, the God of my rock, in him will I trust. He is my shield and the horn of my salvation, my high tower, my refuge, my savior. Thou savest me from violence. I will call on the Lord, who is worthy to be praised. So shall I be saved from my enemies. When the waves of death compass me. So he saw all this in a vision before he died. When the waves of death compassed me, the floods of ungodly men made me afraid. The sorrows of hell compassed me about. Snares of death prevented me. So these spirits from these wicked, from these giants, when they're still upon the earth, when he died, he in that dimension where they was at, they tried to hold him here from ascending, because the spirit that's in us, when we pass, it ascends up to heaven where our forefathers at. So it says 7. In my distress, I called upon the Lord. I cried to my God, and he did hear my voice out of his temple, see, in heaven. And my cry did enter in his ears. Then the earth shook and trembled. The foundations of heaven moved and shook because he was wroth. There went up a smoke out of his nostril, and fire out of his mouth. Devoured coals were kindled. Now here you go. we notice at the temple in Jerusalem because it says he bowed down the heavens with the S on it. Also, he came down. Darkness was under his feet, and he rode, what you just read. He rode upon a cherub. That's these 4 cherubs that carrying this sapphire stone. He rode upon a cherub, did fly, and he was seen upon the wings of the wind, and he made darkness a pavilion round about him, dark waters, dark clouds. Same thing Ezekiel told us of the sky. That's what it means. He's inside this thick cloud on these 4 cherubs toting him on top of sapphire stone. That's how he traveled. Okay. Does that make any sense?
And he looks like us.
Exactly. Right. Anybody else got anything?
Well, I want to thank you for the lesson.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, I'm in the process of probably it'll be Thursday. I'll probably post it probably tomorrow, so give people time to get ready for it. And I'm gonna do that uncomfortable conversation on Thursday. Probably 6:30 somewhere in that. Yeah, and just so that'll be 12 episodes. It's the one that's dealing with the eagle and the 2 eagles in Ezekiel and the 2 baskets of figs, and tie all that together, because a lot of people don't know that all that stuff happened at the same time. It's tied to Zedekiah and Jehoiakim. There's the 2 kings that it was 2 kings that existed at the time of let me show you that right quick. Give the heads up on it. A lot of people don't know that, but if we go to 2 Kings, right quick, we're gonna get off here. 2 Kings. This one. Second Kings 24. I'm starting at verse 8. It says, and I was showing you how that is a holy oil that was the Israelites was told to make. There was a holy oil unto the Lord of hosts. And that's the oil that they anointed everything in the temple with. They also anointed the king and the high priest with it. So the vessels and all that's holy. So where the vessels go, the Lord of hosts, the king go, and the king's seed go with it. So when Nebuchadnezzar came, to let you know who in charge, Yah in charge, because and Lord of hosts in charge, because it says in verse 8, 2 Kings 24 and 8, and Jehoiakim was 18 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned in Jerusalem 3 months. And his mother name was Nehushta, the daughter of Elathan of Jerusalem, and he did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord, according to all that his father had done. At that time, the servants of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came up against Jerusalem, and the city was besieged. And Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came against the city, and his servants did besiege it. And Jehoiakim, the king of Judah, went out to the king of Babylon, he and his mother, and his servants, and his princesses, and his officers, and his king, and the king of Babylon took him in the 8th year of his reign. So see what's going on. The Most High got a covenant with David. So this is a young tweed right here, which is what Ezekiel told you. An eagle with long wings came to Jerusalem and clipped off a branch at the top, a tender twig. Well, this boy 18 years old. So anyway, so he took him to Babylon. This the seed line through Solomon and all the kings that lived. This the boy on the throne at the time. So he didn't only take him. It says And 12, Jehoiakim, the king of Judah, went out to the king of Babylon, he and his mother. See that? His mother and his servants and his princes. See that? So what's the princes? That's his sons. Like I keep showing about Michael. Michael, a prince. So he's a son. He's an angel. But anyway, he says, and his sons and his officers. So all that belonged to him, the boy Jehoiakim is holy. Just like he was, just like the vessels was anointed, and he anointed too. He go along with the vessels. So my point is this, now then we can get off, was he took this king right here. This the king that's going through the lineage of David. When you're tracking David lineage, this is the one that was taken away to Babylon. Then you keep reading down to verse 16. And all the men of might, even 7,000 craftsmen and smiths, and smiths 1,000, all that were strong and apt for war, even them that the king of Babylon brought captive to Babylon, right? Now, so that's the king that was on the throne, that was chosen by Yah before Nebuchadnezzar came. 17, and the king of Babylon made Matthias, right? That's his name, Matthias, his father's brother. So this is Josiah's brother, or Jehoiakim's uncle. Put him on the throne. That's wicked as hell. That's a breach. And the Most High say that's a breach that's a breach on David's throne. So he says his brother made him king instead and changed his name to Zedekiah. So at this point right here, it's two kings over Judah. One of them in exile. The righteous line is in exile in Babylon. And then this Nebuchadnezzar made this man king. So it's two kings existing at the same time. So you say, what you talking about? You go one more place, and you got to deal with this. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole nother level of the understanding. So it says, let me get it. Ezekiel chapter 1. Ezekiel chapter 1. So out the gate, in Ezekiel chapter 1, it says, verse 1. Now it came to pass in the 13th year, in the 4th month, in the 5th day of the month, as I was among the captives, right, by the river Kabor, that the heavens were open, I saw a vision of God. In the 5th day of the month, which was the 5th year of King Jehoiakim's captivity. See, so he's letting you know, he's giving you the timeline. The righteous branch was taken 5 years before this. He's telling you, you've been in Babylon, that righteous king been in Babylon 5 years. Zedekiah is a fluke. The king of Babylon made him the king. So it's two kings existing, one in exile in Babylon and the other one in exile in one of them is over the throne, or actually in Jerusalem, an imposter. This never happened before in Babylon, never before happened in Jerusalem. So with that understanding, this righteous king that's in Babylon is where Zerubbabel came from, the prince, this king in waiting. Yeah, so that's what I'll be dealing with on Thursday. Anybody else got anything before we go? Everybody good? Okay. We'll go out with this. Go out with this little song.
Let's sing hallelujah. Oh, let's sing hallelujah. Let's sing from the rising of the sun to the going down of the same, your holy name, it will be praised. From the rising of the sun to the going down of the same, your holy name will be praised. Hallelujah. Let's sing hallelujah. Let's sing hallelujah. Let's sing hallelujah. I look up the air for guidance. I know that I can achieve all things. And yeah, you are my strength and my refuge. And your word set me free. Oh, let's sing hallelujah. Everybody, let's sing hallelujah. Sing along with me, say hallelujah. Everybody, come on, put your hands in faith. Let's sing hallelujah. Let's sing hallelujah. Let's put our hands in faith. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Let's sing 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 hallelujah.
Okay, so with that being said, I'm gonna say shalom everybody, and I'll see y'all on Wednesday at 6 o'clock. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.